Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World Daily with me, John Jordan. So just had two interesting NFT sales, both I think coincidentally from Animoca Brands products. So we've got first is up the Sandbox and also F1 Delta Time. They've both been doing sales of their NFT. The NFTs that sort of make up the game. Obviously, they're different sort of games, so it's slightly different. So the Sandbox has done another land sale. So it's been doing this now for getting on for 2 years. It has actually 166,000 NFT plots of land, and it's slowly selling those off in different sort of stages, either single plots or bigger plots, which tend to go for auction. So this is Sebastian, the COO of the Sandbox. And he's just saying it's their most successful land sale to date. In 1 hour, they've sold 854 lands, 13 estates. Estates are bigger parcels of land. That's gone to 397 unique wallets. So obviously, some people have been buying more than one. And the currency being used to buy these is Sand, the Sand token, an ERC20 token on Ethereum. So 4.1 million Sand, which is about 2.6 million US dollars. And there is a whole bunch of other land that's being sold off, auctioned off on OpenSea, the marketplace. So this land was sold off at a fixed price. This land is being auctioned, particularly some of these big estates. So some of these big ones here are actually 12 by 12 sized estates. You can kind of see it here. It's not very good quality. Some of these are really big, 36 by 36. These ones were ones that were given away to partners. So these are Gemini, the exchange, and the Galaxy, the VC company. So anyway, so we've seen that's going on. I mean, the fact that Sandbox has done another land sale is no surprise. They've done sort of at least 6 kind of big ones, and some of those have different waves. So you could kind of think they've sort of done getting on for well into double figures in terms of these specific sales, and they tend to sell them out. This one actually sold out slightly less quickly than other ones, I think. Normally they sell out faster than an hour, but by the by. So the other one we're going to look at here is F1 Delta Time. So actually, I didn't even know they had a land sale going, a NFT sale going on here, but they were selling what they call epic segments. So they've been now for the last sort of 6 months or so selling out NFT segments of the racing track. So these are the official F1 real world racing tracks that they've modelled for the game, and those are broken up into NFTs of different rarity value, and they've been selling these off. And the point of owning those is you actually get a passive income. So when people are racing on the track, you get a proportion of the Rev token. That's their cryptocurrency. You have to pay Rev to kind of race in the game, and the people who own the track get a proportion of that. So that's what's going on there. And they've sold 300 NFTs for 9.9 million Rev. And that's about $3.38 million. So both of these products, they're not really linked at all. It just happens to be the same company who owns them, and both of them are sort of riding this wider NFT I was going to call it a bubble there, but this wider NFT sort of hype cycle where people are very interested in NFTs, and particularly these are interesting because these are you're not just owning art that you might flip or things you might flip later. I mean, certainly the F1 Delta Time one, you're actually potentially earning passive income, although that's not happened yet, so we don't know if that is going to be a valuable thing or not. But I thought I'll go back to my my sheet. So this is my spreadsheet that I fiddle around with things on. One of the things I've been tracking over the last kind of 2 years actually is the sales. So this probably is not comprehensive, but it's comprehensive enough, I think. So we can see here F1 Delta Time, all the different sales they've done of various things, and I make it. They've done about $7.8 million worth of trading. Obviously, it's a bit difficult because the price of ETH was different back in 2019, and so there's different ways of doing it. But I've just noted the price, when the auction happened. So actually, obviously, the ETH price here was $200-300, maybe even lower than that. So but we don't know what Animoca Brands has done with the ETH. Have they kept it? Have they sold it off for USD straight away? So this is sort of at the moment would be a underestimate. Similarly for the Sandbox, they've done about $4.4 million worth, depending again how you deal with the ETH in the early stages. Now you notice that both of these products require people to buy their NFTs in their in-game currency. So we have Rev for F1 Delta Time and Sand for the Sandbox. It's also interesting to see. So I then have this other sheet here, where I look at different products. And what's interesting here is I have one for the Sandbox. Pixel is the company that was sort of the original developer, now known as the Sandbox. But Pixel is the company that Animoca Brands bought when they were developing the Sandbox. So we can see here this is different flows of money in. So in this column here, this is money raised from VC companies, so sort of traditional money, fiat money, dollars that come from investors. This column here is IEOs, or I guess we could say back in the day ICOs. So this is sort of a token sales, could be private, could be public. And this column here is NFT sales. I've got Sky Mavis in here, the Axie Infinity people, but we didn't talk about them today, so I'd take them out of the way. So we can see here that over time I've sort of batched these up a little bit, but we can see here different investments has come in. So what's interesting with F1 Delta Time is Animoca Brands raised a ton of money sort of directly from investors back in 2018. This is potentially not just for F1 Delta Time, so potentially some of this is for Animoca Brands in general. But we can see here they've raised $13 million in VC money. They've not done any IEOs, any public ones at least. I think some of these may have been, some of these VC sales may have been token sales, I'm not sure. But we can see here in terms of the NFT stuff, Animoca Brands has done about $8 million. So look, $7.7 million, so that's this previous figure, in kind of raising money compared to 13 million, so 21 in total. So we can see here that still this money they raised from VCs is the biggest amount. But we can kind of see here these rounds, they did various rounds, 2.3, 3, 4, 4.1. We can start to see here that selling 300 NFTs has raised $3.4 million, which is not bigger than some of their VC rounds. So granted, these are not big VC rounds. We've seen Dapper Labs raise $305 million. We've seen people raising, kind of $20 million. So these are still, in investment terms, fairly small. But Animoca Brands is a relatively small company still. I guess growing quickly as blockchain does. But we can see here now that this money they're raising from effectively their community, who are prepared to invest money to buy these NFTs, is broadly on the same scale as what they were raising from VCs. Giving away their stock, the shares in the company, and a sort of similar sort of thing here with the Sandbox. So the Sandbox never raised any VC money directly. I mean, it did do back in the day before it got into blockchain, but Pixel didn't raise any VC money. Animoca Brands came and bought them. They've not raised money through stock on here. They've done some token sales. So this is sort of broadly this is for accredited investors. So the investors haven't got stock in the company because that company is now owned by Animoca Brands. So the easiest way is sell off the Sand token. So again, $2.5 to $4 million worth of Sand tokens sold. Those people would have done very well back in 2020, 2019 because the price of the Sand tokens has gone up a lot. But now we can see again these NFT sales that they're selling the land. This is starting to raise similar amounts as they were raising from VCs. And I guess kind of my point here is just to point out that both of these companies, which are owned by Animoca Brands, are doing very well. They've raised now in total, fairly significant sums of money. So the Sandbox has raised $18 million selling tokens and NFTs, and Animoca Brands / F1 Delta Time has raised $21 million. Those are fairly substantial sums of money for investment. Nothing to sneeze about at all. But equally, we're kind of seeing that the shift happen that now. These are not being raised from VCs. These are not being raised from private sales of the tokens anymore. And now they're much more being raised by directly to just anyone who on the blockchain who wants to buy these NFTs. These aren't necessarily investors. Then maybe not. They say not maybe sophisticated investors as we might call them. But these are people who are quite passionate about these projects. Now they maybe spending this money because they think that they can double it. So there may be an investment speculative kind of attitude to what they're doing. But we're kind of seeing this. I think over time we'll see this kind of more and more as these products, certainly as the Sandbox becomes more fully fledged. It's nothing like released at the moment. We'll start to see just fans, and if you have enough fans, who are really into something, and they still may be an investment element to that. But over time, we're kind of seeing this money flow is becoming more decentralized. I guess that's the sort of the conclusion. This is very centralized. This is slightly less centralized. You have to go through gatekeepers to be a VC. You have to go through laws and stuff like that. But this is basically being publicly funded effectively, like a blockchain Kickstarter to a degree, where you actually own the game, the assets in the game. So it's pretty interesting and fairly substantial amounts of money being raised. Animoca Brands has done a very good job in doing that. So that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching the video. This is Blockchain Gaming World Daily, where we take a daily slice of what's going on in blockchain and try and make sense of it. Please subscribe to the channel if you like this sort of thing. But thanks for watching, and see you again soon.